Now, of course, you can't sell a smuggling ship as a smuggling ship. You can't have the Drake Smuggle X 9000, you know. Have you ever had this problem? You're trying to get that widow to, a really impatient customer. You know how those dust heads are, and you got to get it there quickly. Well, the new Drake Smuggle X 9000 is the perfect ship for you. Of course, I mean, you can't market a ship like that. But there's a lot of ships in Star Citizen where they kind of throw a little wink and a nod. Like, you have the Endeavor medical ship where those labs can be used to manufacture other goods. They've alluded to things like that. And I think that if you come at it from a different angle, you can definitely create a smuggling ship. I mean, I would use, because it's a ship with an alternate purpose, I would use a Drake ship. I would actually use the Caterpillar um, as a smuggling ship. I would just remake it. Now, there were a ton of comments on the video, and I want to center in on one of the comments in particular, which was from Luis, who said, just make it a really fast ship, or more or less to that effect. It should just be a really fast ship, and I agree with him. The problem is that I think that you can't really expect the Cutlass to have too much range. You know what I mean? The Cutlass, I think, is kind of like a planetary system type area, a type ship, a planet, its moons. It might need to make a couple of hops to get long distance, say from Crusader all the way to Hurston. It might need to make a couple of stops when it's running through all its quantum fuel. But a ship like the Caterpillar, I think that you could see that. The problem with the Caterpillar is that it's big and it's unwieldy, right? It's almost a little bit too big. So I think that what I would do with the Caterpillar, honestly, is I would take the Caterpillar and all of the uniform kind of cargo pods in the forward section of that ship. I think I should switch to an external view any second now in this footage. But all those uniform cargo pods, I would get rid of all of them. I would remove all of them except for the nose of the cargo area, and I would pull that all the way back. Yeah, so right here where you see the exterior of the ship, those four kind of central cargo areas on the ship, I would get rid of all of them, and I would just take the nose of the ship and bring it right back to the body of the ship. So let's say you walk out of the crew area in the main part of the ship. You walk out of that lunchroom, you would basically be walking through this door. Here you go, here's a big cargo bay, and you open up these doors and you can walk right out of the front of the ship, and that's where it would stop. And that whole lunch area, I would entirely gut it, and I would basically make that into an extension into the core of the ship of that cargo bay. So that door would be gone as well, and that entire lunchroom would be gone. So essentially the nose of the ship would go from here to right about here. That's where the new nose of the ship would be. Now, because the top turret is located on that nose, you wouldn't have to move the top turret. It could remain exactly where it is. That entire upper deck area where the hallways are, right about here. I would cut the walls down, level out the floor, and basically just put in a couple of bunks and a basic shower toilet combo and make that into the crew habitation area. Basically get 2 for 1 out of that area. It's kind of a dead space anyways. It's just corridors going to, the top hatch that we're not really using. I would basically open that up and just turn that into the crew habitation area. Remember, it's a Drake ship. It's supposed to be Spartan. So I think we can make more efficient use of that space. So let's say this is you're landing at Olisar, you're landing your ship, you're just going to hop out of the front of the ship. Remember that nose is no longer there. It's all the way back where you see that last forward section being. You come down here, all this area would be opened up. It'd be like living area. Walk through here, boom, you're in the nose of the ship. Just like that. So once again, this whole area leveled out. Maybe you need to leave a little bit of a step there. Obviously, there's a height difference. You just turn around, boom, walk back up. You're in the cockpit of your ship, ready to fly away. So basically, that's how I would go about it. That's, what I would do. Reason why? Well, already you've got an existing ship. You can build right off of it. Boom, done. Most of your assets already finished. You'd have to refurbish the interior a little bit, but it wouldn't be all that bad compared to having to build an entirely new ship. So this is something that, with most of the animation work already done, most of the assets already built, I would be shocked if this took over 3 months to build. To be perfectly honest, I would be shocked if it took them to go from concept sale, if they put their nose down to the grindstone and put the ship right there, interjected it right in the middle of the schedule from concept sale to delivered. 3 months, anything beyond that would be surprising to me. You end up with a ship that can fit into Grim Hex. You have a ship that either, with all that weight and all that size reduction, you can either say, well, you can keep the current engines that it has, and it's just going to be a hell of a lot faster than it used to be because you've lost all that weight. Or you can actually downgrade it to, say, a more energy efficient and possibly a little bit stealthier engine and increase the range even further. You've got a smaller, maybe medium cargo offering type ship that now has the range of a much larger ship, or has even greater range than that depending on how you configure it. And Drake just has to say, oh, this is our medium cargo offering. We just decided to do it on the cheap. We just took the Caterpillar, changed it up a little bit, made it smaller. Here you go. And the other uses for that ship are kind of obvious. I think that would be what I would do. Now, obviously, there's going to be people who are going to disagree with me. Oh, no. I still want a new ship. I don't care. I just want new ships. Stick a third turret on it. Boom, you can call it the Corsair. I mean, that would be my approach. I realize that, there are plenty of people out there who disagree with my ideas or my approach, but if I were in the boardroom throwing up an idea, that's what I would throw up. And I would say, boom, there you go. You got a ship that you can deliver real quick, sell it for like $200. And it is, in a way, because of that off-center cockpit that still can detach and all that fancy stuff once that gets, implemented in the game. You have a ship that's reminiscent of the Millennium Falcon without being overly similar to the Millennium Falcon. I think you would end up with a pretty damn good ship, and it would be a ship that I would buy. I would definitely purchase that. I might even think about cashing in the Caterpillar and getting that ship instead, because I think that would be overall a ship that uses its space much more efficiently and is a lot more promising. I would definitely be very interested in a ship like that. I don't know, but once again, that's Minion's way of doing things. You might totally disagree with that, and that is entirely understandable, but that is totally Minion's take on how I would do that. Now, as a little added bonus piece of footage to this video, because when I was filming, these background shots for this video, a funny thing happened. Basically, I'm soloing in my Caterpillar, just moving cargo around and, just basically collecting the footage for this video, when I get attacked by a pirate Caterpillar. I mean, it's an NPC pirate Caterpillar, or not Caterpillar, sorry, Cutlass. And so you can see him coming in here. He's up in the upper right. You can see where I've locked onto him. And this is basically the nightmare scenario. Because I actually do have cargo. I have plenty of cargo on the ship. And now I'm like, uh-oh, what am I going to do? And this is the latest version of the client, so I don't really have my gun set up yet because I was being stupid and lazy, and I just wanted to get this footage. So I'm trying to do this with the command pod guns. Watch what happens. I'm going to have to go back and check to see if they upgraded the command pod guns. Because I kind of get the feeling that, well, let's go back. Well, we might have to watch. See, it happened that fast, so I'm not sure exactly what happened there. So I'm going to play it back in slow-mo here. This is actually my first time watching it back in slow-mo. And it looked like, originally it looked like I rammed him to death. So I wasn't exactly sure, but now that I'm watching it more in slow-mo, you can see his ship is taking damage and there's no one else shooting at him. I think it's the guns on the command pod that entirely did it. Now that I'm watching it in slow motion, I'm thinking that I might have just blown his ship up because the model for his ship isn't changing orientation and flying towards my ship. So it almost looks like, yeah, it looks like, well, maybe I rammed him. Damn, it's hard to tell. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that is Minion Soldier's take on the idea of a smuggling ship. If I were there, this is what I would propose. This is what I would go with. You may agree, you may disagree. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching. Pretty sure I rammed him to death. Maybe. Maybe I should go back and check the guns on the command pod to see if they've been buffed.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.